All right, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever it is in your time zone where you are at. It is great to be here. My name is Just Vince, and we are Gaming Tonic. I'm here with.
Devin Karank. How's it
Hey,
going, boys?
it's going great,
Welcome
man.
in.
It's going great. It's great to be here. I'm excited. It's
Yes, sir.
another day of the podcast. About to have some fun today talking about some esports, but with some gaming news. But before we get into all that, we finally got him in. We finally done it. We mentioned a little bit in our streams. We showed some pictures of our first Gaming Tonic merch.
Hog.
That's right. And we got them in. We're wearing them right now, guys, if you want to take a look.
Sure.
Positivity.
Bada bing.
Positivity is the new meta. You can get them right now
Bring it, boys.
on Teespring by searching up Gaming Tonic. We have t-shirts. We have sweatshirts. We have other t-shirts, right? The different
There's
t-shirts.
women's t-shirts, men's t-shirts, and sweaters. Both come in black and white. Throw the link in chat for you guys if you're interested. There they are. I don't know why you wouldn't be interested. Probably the best slogan to ever come out of any gaming media ever.
Potentially, yes.
So
Definitely in contention.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in my heart it is, and you can't persuade me otherwise. So
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's up for debate, but like we would win that debate if we started it. So who cares?
yeah, we definitely would.
Yeah, that's their debate to lose if they want to fight us on that. But yeah, you are more than welcome to pick up some of that merch. We would appreciate it very much. We do get a cut split between us, and we're using it to just like fund more stuff for the podcast. So if you like the content, if you want to support the show, that is one way that you can do it. All right,
yes, sir.
So tell us, what have you been doing this week, man? What's been up with you?
Okay, this week, let's see. It's been hectic for me. As far as the gaming side of things goes, I'm all over the place. I'm playing Minecraft. I got into Smite with you and some of the other boys, of course. Still trying to beat Pogo Stuck. That'll probably be going on for
still.
Yeah, at least. I mean, I haven't put as much time into it this week, but we're still at it. I played it like once this week.
Well, I'm happy for you that you haven't put as much time into it this week. That's for sure.
Well, no, I'm not. I want to beat this game. I need to reach that fulfillment in order to move on and forget about it. But yeah, that's it. And a little bit of Smash too. The usual stuff.
Yeah.
But man, let me say the support this week, crazy, bro, crazy. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it has been
much love, dude.
Yeah, it's been absolutely insane, honestly. Like we've got many people in both of our communities that have been like showing up on both sides of the table in big ways, and it has been absolutely amazing to watch, I mean, seeing Grub stream today pop off the way that it did too. I mean, Grub plays with 2Bs. If y'all haven't followed him yet, awesome guy. He's doing a playthrough of The Witcher, and like, man, I remember when we first met Grub, he actually hosted us while we were doing this podcast. Like that was the first time I met Grub. He hosted us while we were doing the show. And he had like, I want to say he hosted us with like maybe like 10 viewers ish, like somewhere around there. It was between 5 and 10, like for sure.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Can't remember the exact number. And he was on there today playing The Witcher for 50 viewers, man. That's crazy. You know. You'd love to see the gang come up like that. You love it, man.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
especially Grub. He's such a nice guy. Like,
yeah,
he deserves it. He's cool.
Yeah, Grub is absolutely one of the most wholesome people in the community for sure. And we love him here. So like I said, if you're not following him already, go give him a follow. We love him here. So, I mean, you said you've been playing Minecraft too? Dude? You said you've been playing Minecraft before I get into my week.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, when I saw you on stream doing that, dude, that was kind of a shock to me. I was like, why are people playing Minecraft right now? Like, and everybody was playing Minecraft. There's like, y'all had like 8 people in there that I knew. I was like, what's going on right now?
Yeah, I Sniper opened that server and he asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, sure. You know what? I haven't played Minecraft in a little bit. Let me see what I can do on here. And I went off, kind of started my own thing because my goal in Minecraft is to sit around and build, and I just want to make a nice house in a mountain. Yep. So being the person I am, I was like, yeah, I'm the mountain hermit, and you can't come into my territory or I will kill you. And they were like, okay. But then people wanted to join me. And then sure enough, people were trying to go against me. So we started this like split faction server kind of thing. And then it kind of snowballed from there. And that's why everyone was playing. They're just trying to kick my ass. That's really all it is.
So it's basically like when you play Among Us, but in a Minecraft server. It's like the
Yeah, I
same
am
thing.
public enemy.
It is the exact same experience. Everybody's just like, yeah, we hate Joker. Let's get in there and grief him.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
awesome.
don't.
You love to see it. Sorry, I called you Joker again. I still do that, dude. Devin, my bad.
It's okay.
But
You're allowed to. You've known me as Joker longer than probably anybody else on Twitch, so it makes sense.
right, dude, my week has been insane. Like, I got some like crazy news from my job about like my job situation and things like that, and like a lot of doors have been opening up, and I'm like trying to find out now. I'll probably know within 2 weeks if I'm going to be employed at the same place or not. And basically, I find myself in a situation where if streams continue to go the way that they've been going, I might be in the best spot I've ever been in my life to go into content creation full time. And like if they don't continue going that way, then I'm like just going to go find other employment anyways and keep doing what I've been doing, basically,
Yeah.
you know, and just like work during the daytime, stream at nighttime, because that's been working for me so far. I've been enjoying the late night streams. We got a really awesome crowd of people out there that we, you know, load up games with, and people like swap out, and they're like playing with each other in the Discord even when I'm not on and stuff like that. It's been awesome, dude. Like, seeing the community grow and blow up like this has been absolutely amazing, and I'm so grateful for all the people who have been coming through and being a part of this. And I mean, seriously, shout out, guys. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah, seriously, incredible. Yeah, we have a beautiful community here.
Yeah, so that's been a lot of my week, but I am very excited for next week. I'm excited that it's the weekend. I actually have Monday off. I have a 3-day weekend this week, so I am.
Oh yeah, holiday, right? What's this Monday? I don't even.
Uh-oh, you're gonna make me check my calendar because I don't remember.
Some holiday. I don't.
I say it's an important one too. Hold up, Monday
President's
holiday.
Day?
Might be. Is it MLK?
I thought that was a February thing.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh, it is
January
okay.
18th. I didn't want to say it for sure. I threw out a guess just in case, but you know, you love to see it. So actually got it right this time. Well,
thanks, MLK.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right, so moving on. We're here for the news. We got a lot of news this week, man. Like it was kind of a quiet week, like a little bit, but a lot of like incognito big announcements on the way. You know, they're not like full announcements yet, like we're not getting trailers or anything like that, but there's a lot of stuff that got talked about this week that's coming up that I'm personally really excited for.
Yeah, me too. We got some sleepers here. And a whole lot of rumors that we didn't like. You know, I don't like talking about rumors because they're rumors, but like there was some rumors that I was seeing even that would spark some fires for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked about the news this week.
Yeah, typically I'm not crazy about like reporting rumors as news either, personally. But also real quick, I mean we gotta shout it out. Yo, Solus One Rach, thank you for the raid. We appreciate that so much. Rachel, you're awesome.
Thank you.
I hope you had an incredible stream. You are fantastic. Thank you. Welcome in. It is great to have you here. We are just getting into our news segment right now. We just started, so we're glad to have you. The first thing that we're talking about, and this is specifically for the UK, but I think this is really interesting because I don't think that in recent years Nintendo has had as much of an impact in the UK as they've had in America and for sure in Japan. But the Switch outsold all other consoles combined in 2020 in the UK, and that's according to GameIndustry.biz for reference. The like head guy of that, Christopher Dring, tweeted that out, and like that is crazy to me because Nintendo's footprint has not been big in the UK like this in a long time.
Yeah, what shocked me is when you told me it was in the UK because I would have expected that in America, honestly.
I mean, and for sure in Japan, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But like here, I feel like so many people have been buying Switches, looking for Switches, and there was like that Switch shortage that kind of went on at the beginning of the pandemic where people couldn't find them and people were selling them for like $800 a pop. It was crazy, but yeah, good for the UK, man. Recognize a good console. That's The Switch deserves it, I think. I love the Switch.
Yeah, and I'm definitely curious to see all of these like numbers start to come out about 2020, specifically because I think COVID specifically was a big year for gaming, you know? Like that made 2020 a huge year for gaming. People are unable to like leave their house now, and they're like, we're having people who don't even play video games be like, you know what, maybe I do want to get a Switch, you know? I mean, my mom is not a gamer. She's not like, she dabbles in games sometimes. She has played World of Warcraft with like me and my dad and my sister in the past because we all play it and she wants to do stuff with us. But like her one game is Tetris, that's it. And she is a beast at Tetris, for sure. But even her, she was like, man, I'm kind of thinking about getting a Switch. How much is a Switch Lite? You know, she's looking into it. A guy that I work with,
dude.
like we were talking yesterday, and me and my buddy were talking about playing games, and it was my buddy Jeff, and Jeff was like, "Hey, I'll hit you up to play some games," and he was walking past. He's like, "Jeff, you never hit me up." I was like, "Oh, do you play games?" He was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, what?" Okay, we'll just include you in something else next time, I guess. But like, and then later we were talking, and he was like, "Dude, you play games. I'm thinking about getting a Switch. He's like, "Well, I'm thinking about getting it for my kid, but I want to use it. It seems kind of cool." And I mean, even people like that the last console this guy owned was an Xbox 360. And it was like one of the early ones. It wasn't a new one.
I think it's coming up like the new Wii. You know what I mean?
It really
is. When the Wii, it felt like the Wii was in every household. And I think the Switch is coming up on that level of popularity.
Yeah, most definitely.
Which it should. It's such a cool console. I vouch for the Switch over any other console, dude. I think the Switch is so cool.
Yeah. What Nintendo lacks in the graphics department and the online department, they most definitely make up for in ingenuity. Like, I would say even the Wii U, for the disaster of a console that was very innovative. Like being able to just like pick up the tablet and play some games on the screen and stuff like that. Like it was definitely what led to the Switch.
Use the tablet while you're playing games, like
managing inventory. Oh, dude,
yeah,
that was really good.
It was pretty cool. As unsuccessful as the Wii U was, it was definitely different.
Yeah, it had some terrible marketing. Terrible marketing, but pretty cool console.
I thought that it was an extension for the Wii for the longest time. I thought that the tablet was just like a thing you would buy for standard Wii, and that was it. I didn't know it was like its whole own thing.
Yeah, same. I think it took a lot of people a long time to realize that it was a new console and not just like, the tablet that you bought to hook up to your current Wii that you already have.
Yeah, dude. I think the one game I played on the Wii U was Splatoon. And
oh gosh,
that was what led me to buy Splatoon 2 on the Switch, because I was like, this game is actually really sick, and that was about it. But
I have never played a game of Splatoon.
Splatoon's fun. I mean, like I don't know how to explain it. It kind of got old quick for me, but it's a good time while it lasts.
And that's kind of where I'm at with that. Like, for me personally, I see Splatoon as a game that should have been $40 like Overwatch,
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That way you could put it on sale for $20, and that's an easy pickup for a lot of people. You know? Like, but $60 for an only multiplayer game like that? I'm out. I don't care. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
There's too many other games to play that I can play with a mouse and keyboard because I don't want to play a shooter on the Joy-Cons. You know what I mean?
That was the rough part, was like it just felt so weird to get used to the shooting.
Yeah.
And it's a shooter, so it was strange for sure, but it was a really nice looking game. Like when you spray the ink all over the place, the ink has like this nice glossy looking texture, and it just looks really pretty. It was cool.
Yeah. So
anyway,
I mean, the next one on our list hits me personally pretty hard because this is a game that I was really excited about. But Harry Potter RPG Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed to 2022. And they released a statement on their official Twitter saying, "We would like to thank fans from around the world for the tremendous reaction to the announcement of Hogwarts Legacy from our Portkey Games label. Creating the best possible experience for all of the wizarding world and gaming fans is paramount to us, so we are giving the game the time it needs. Hogwarts Legacy will be released in 2022. Man.
After the whole Cyberpunk thing, and people being so upsetty about this game taking so long to come out, and then being double upsetty when it comes out in an unfinished state, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Take your time. I will never complain about a game being rushed ever again. Not after Cyberpunk.
Yeah, 100%.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, obviously it's kind of a coin toss for me. Like it depends on how long a game gets delayed, obviously, but even as long as Cyberpunk got delayed, like I think everybody could agree that game could have used another year of polish. And there's been a lot of stuff coming out about like the development of that game, and I just saw a rumor today that was like game development may have not started full swing until like 2016, which I mean, considering how early the game was announced, that's surprising to me, but they did say that they were going to finish development on all of the Witcher 3 expansions and updates and all that stuff before starting on Cyberpunk. So I mean, that's when it should have started in full swing, according to their timeline that they set with the Witcher development games. But with a game like this, I mean, all the gameplay that I saw of this, I'm incredibly excited for, and I think it looks like actually amazing. like all the puzzles that we saw and the walls like pulling apart with all the bricks folding back and stuff like that. Like just the whole like Harry Potter universe,
Yeah.
like perfectly realized in an RPG game that's going to be open world. Like I would probably wait another 4 years for this game if I'm being honest, if that's what it took. I am so excited to see this game.
Honestly, I think I'm at this point where if I don't have to play a game where I'm really excited for it and I buy it and then it's not what I think it is, and then I have to wait for, all these hot fixes and major updates for the game to be in that like finished state that they said it would be. I would much rather wait.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe an extra year, even 4 years, like at max, like just to have a finished game. I feel like we don't get that very much anymore. Not a whole lot of finished games going around lately.
I agree. And I mean, realistically, like obviously, I hope that it's not going to be the case, but this game's probably still going to come out with issues. That's just
Yeah, I mean,
game development nowadays is getting so big, and
they
games are
always
so
will.
complicated and so complex with all the coding you have to do to like orchestrate these masterpieces of games. I mean,
Right.
it's going to be a little bit messy. I'm sorry, my cat just like jumped up on my lap. She wants to be a star apparently. Every
She
now and
is a
then,
star.
she's just climbing up on my shoulder right
Onto
now.
the
Okay,
shoulder,
go
yeah.
ahead. That's fine. I say she's such a baby. All right. So, what is our next piece of news for today? What do we got?
So next thing coming up is uh we this week we found out that an open world Star Wars game is in development at Massive, which is the studio that made the Division 1 and 2 and Far Cry 3. And it's going to be an open world Star Wars game
Finally.
with yeah, dude. I am so excited. Like I'm pretty sure we talked about this on an episode at one point. I think the MMO episode when we talked about Star Wars. I'm sure I've expressed my excitement for an open world Star Wars game before. I'm so pumped. Especially if it's the people that made a game like Far Cry 3 or The Division. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's not going to be some type of like looter shooter, but if it's close to like Far Cry 3 and you're just like a Star Wars character, that's kind of cool.
So the only reason that I think that it might be some type of looter shooter, and maybe not like a full looter shooter, but like kind of what they did with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Which I mean, okay, or you got to get down now. That I consider that game to be a huge disaster, and I'm kind of interested to see how they bring it back around, if they choose to bring it back around or just kind of take it out back and put it down. But
Yeah.
like so much of Ubisoft games have been moving the direction of looter shooter. I mean, For Honor, which is a fighting game, like a medieval fighting game, has loot that you can find in it to upgrade your character. That was like a core system in the game. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which Ghost Recon traditionally a third-person shooter stealth game, like
Yeah.
team-based shooter game, and there's loot in that. Assassin's Creed was an Assassin's Creed game. Now it's an RPG game. Like, and that's been kind of the way that they've been trending with a lot of their games. I think that enough people are casually addicted to progression like me nowadays that they'll probably put that in there, honestly.
I'm curious how like if they plan on making it like you're just a dude, not force sensitive in the Star Wars world, or if you're a Jedi, a Sith. I'm curious where they'll take it as far as that goes. I think that'll determine a lot. But I agree. I think there will be some type of looting, but I don't know. Open world, who knows? We don't know much about the game except that it's in development. So
Yeah.
it's all assumptions for now.
Yeah, and I mean it's pretty up in the air. And I mean, and Hexlin also said For Honor was a pretty great earlier on. At the moment, I just don't care for it though. And also, I think Ubisoft does that genre well. And I couldn't agree more. I think that and specifically looking at like the developers of other games that like those developers have made, Massive specifically, I really enjoyed the Division 2 and I really enjoyed Far Cry 3.
Far Cry 3 was probably my favorite Far Cry.
Like
That was a fun one.
I feel like really the only miss for Ubisoft recently from all of their studios has been Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That's been the only thing that was a swing and a miss, besides maybe Watch Dogs Legion. And even then, I think the idea behind that is really cool. But
yeah,
like I feel like Watch Dogs Legion was an incredible game, and people just miss having a main character.
Yeah.
Like even a flat main character like Aiden Pierce, I loved Aiden Pierce, so like that would have worked for me. But
I felt that way. I played Watch Dogs Legion, and that's kind of like how I started to feel after about the 10-hour mark. I was like, man, I don't feel attached to any of this like at all.
Yeah.
It's cool, the mechanics are fun, but But who do I have to look up to? What story am I following here? Just like classic save the world as a super spy hacker trope. Like I don't know. It got old real quick. It was fun.
Also, Coreman asked in the chat if we have watched the Game Maker's Toolkit video about Watch Dogs Legion, and we have not. Just a heads up. So, have not seen that. But if you post a link in the Discord, I will be sure to take a look at it after the stream. I am into all that stuff. So the next game that we have on our list, or the next piece of news, if you will, Machine Games, who are the developers of Wolfenstein: The New Order and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus and Wolfenstein: New Blood, they are coming out or working on an Indiana Jones game. And this is interesting. This is really interesting to me because I have not seen any attempts into the Indiana Jones universe from a video game in my lifetime, I don't think. At least not since I've been purchasing games have I seen one that, except for Lego Indiana Jones. That would be the only one. And that knocked it out of the park. I mean, Lego Indiana Jones, man. I mean, just give us that game with graphics, I would play another 20 hours of Lego Indiana Jones. Absolutely. Those games are incredible.
That game was sick.
I mean, I look at this and Wolfenstein New Blood, I think that's what it was called. I'm going to double check on that one because I didn't write the title down. But I mean, the first two Wolfenstein games, the New Colossus and the New Order. Oh, it's Youngblood. That's what it is. It's Youngblood, not New Blood. Sorry, so Wolfenstein Youngblood. That one was kind of 50-50. It didn't look too good to me, but it was kind of like one of those almost games, like it was a standalone DLC pretty much is what it felt like more than anything.
Yeah.
But still neat. But the first two games in this Wolfenstein reboot were awesome. And
I've actually never played Wolfenstein.
Oh, dude. I mean, I would say
I've seen it though.
I would say at least the New Order is worth a playthrough. It's so cheap now, I mean, just go run through it one time for sure. You can get it on sale for definitely under $10, potentially $5. But speaking specifically to the set pieces that they created in those games and the graphics and how explosive it was, and it was like a very narrative, single player game. There was a lot of flexibility in ways that you could tackle the environments and the fights, but for all intents and purposes, it was a pretty much linear on rails game. And I think that is exactly the kind of game that I want Indiana Jones to be. If I'm going to be playing through an Indiana Jones game, I want it to be Uncharted with Indiana Jones. And
I was going to say,
I mean, if anyone can do it,
Uncharted, with Uncharted on the playing field, I feel like they're brave for getting some Indiana Jones out there. I feel like a good Indiana Jones would look very similar to an Uncharted, Uncharted with whip.
Yeah, definitely.
But maybe who knows? It's got the Wolfenstein developers. Maybe we'll be whipping some Nazi butt.
I mean,
he did whip Nazis, didn't he?
Could be time period correct in the Indiana Jones universe. I mean, it makes sense for the same developers to be responsible for making another game where you fight Nazis.
It's actually just a DLC for Wolfenstein.
Dude, could you imagine an actual M-rated violent Indiana Jones game? People would be furious. People would actually be so angry. Everyone who's currently 50 years old who grew up watching Indiana Jones movies would be so mad that they, have to watch gore and stuff like that. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be another 5-6 years probably before we see this game come out, or I would say another 2 to 3 before we get a trailer. If it's sooner than that, cool, but I doubt it.
I'll wait.
Yeah, that's a wait and see.
Yeah,
for me.
But very interesting, very cool. That one caught me off guard.
All right, Arcane, the guys who made Dishonored and Prey, are working. Game. They are working on a fantasy game in Unreal Engine 4. So this information came from a job listing that stated unannounced project Unreal 4 and then in parentheses fantasy. Does this hype you up at all?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Prey, I had a good time with Prey. Dishonored is definitely one of my favorite games ever. So I do enjoy that engine very much, and I would probably I don't know. It's an unannounced project. We don't know anything except that it's Unreal Engine 4 and fantasy. So I mean, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch or anything, but I think it'll be all right.
I think so too. I mean, I think that there's a certain amount of these are the people making this game, so you pay attention. I mean, it's the same way when Hideo Kojima went to make his own studio and ended up developing Death Stranding. Death Stranding isn't a game for everybody, but the people who are fans of Hideo Kojima and his work, as soon as they heard that he was making something, they were like, this is going to be awesome. And for the people that were fans, it was awesome. I mean, it was everything that they love about Hideo Kojima in a game. Weird gameplay, weird story, creepy environment and atmosphere, and awesome main characters, So that's what they came for and what they stayed for. So I look at a game like this, and Prey and Dishonored are two of the potentially most respected franchises to come out of the Bethesda wing, And I'm hyped, dude. I have not seen these guys make a bad game yet.
Yeah, neither have I. That's what I'm saying. I yes, please give me. I'm curious, like, what they mean by fantasy, because I feel like Dishonored was kind of fantasy-esque, there with the whole like witch thing and black magic and all that. Like, it was very like steampunkish, I guess, but like, I don't know. Maybe we're going full fairy or something in the next one.
Well, but what you mentioned about like the dark magic and everything like that, like if they could find some middle ground between like, I'm going to throw out like a couple of games here that are a little bit different, but like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, the dark magic from Dishonored, and then like a world like Dragon Age. And just like lump all those three things in together, because they do like dark, tense, creepy environments really well. And if we got like a proper dark magic fantasy RPG, I think that's awesome. And that's something that hasn't really been explored in a big way yet. Because they could make that really creepy and keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time, mix in a little bit of horror elements. I mean, that'd be awesome. That'd be a cool game.
It would be awesome. Just don't make it too scary. Then I can't play it. Please.
All right.
I'm a sissy.
Yeah, no kidding. The last one that we're talking about, and this is the rumor section, okay, guys? So this is not confirmed to be true yet. The only reason that we're including this is because I hope it's true, because I think that this needs to happen. There's a rumor that came from seasonedgaming.com, just to reference, and they stated, we've heard from multiple reliable sources that a new Hot Wheels expansion is in development for Forza Horizon 4. Yes. Absolutely, it should be. I just showed you the trailer earlier today.
Yeah.
It is the coolest thing racing game has ever had. Hands down.
It's very. If you haven't seen it yet, you too should go on YouTube and look up a trailer for the last one. It's pretty awesome.
So Forza Horizon 3 got a Hot Wheels expansion. Just so you know exactly what you're looking up. And I played through it, and it is absolutely insane. They put Hot Wheels cars in the game with like proper driving physics and stuff like that the Forza series is known for. And like insane tracks. The first big track that you do, you take a Mini Cooper that's all souped up, and there's like big classical music playing, and you go through this massive loop, and you do a huge Hot Wheels loop in a Mini Cooper at high speeds. And there's classical music playing right as you like hit the peak of the loop. It like hits a crescendo, and it's just perfect. It's beautiful, It's something I never knew I wanted.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome. I feel like we've gotten plenty of Hot Wheels games before, but it's a Hot Wheels game, so it's whatever. But you take a game like Forza, a racing game like Forza, and put it with that. That's a DLC made in heaven for Forza, if you ask me.
It really is. Yeah, it is, for all intents and purposes, the perfect racing experience if you had any childhood attachment to Hot Wheels. Absolutely incredible. So I hope this is happening. We'll see. It's probably going to be something that's announced in the next year if it is happening, I would guess. Because pretty soon we're going to be getting into new Forza game territory, at which point, it might be for the next game.
We'll have to talk about that if we find out more.
Yeah.
You got me curious about that one for sure.
I got me about to re-download Forza Horizon 3 so I can play it again. I loved that game, man. All right. So, getting on to our main topic for today.
Yeah.
It is time to talk about esports. And man, I mean, I love esports. I really think that esports is potentially the future of what's going to be watched primarily around the world. I think sports will always have a place, but I think esports is like sports, but really accessible because everybody plays video games, Like even the people who play sports play video games. Not everybody who plays video games plays sports. There's not a lot of crossover there, But like I hear people who are like football heads in my work and like basketball heads, like they're really into the sport, talk about that kid who won Fortnite prize money.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I don't hear the same crossover from gamers talking about sports all the time. Although there is a little bit. I know that there are plenty of people who like both. But I think esports is sports for the next generation. Honestly, I do.
Yeah. It's super cool to live during this time because I feel like in the last 10 years we've seen so much growth from esports, just like literally going from small 10,000 people tournaments, to like filling stadiums of people and even more people watching streams online because of like the technology we have now. Like it's crazy, man. Esports
Yeah,
is really cool, and I'm excited to touch on this topic with you guys.
most definitely. So, starting all the way back in the beginning, the very first esports tournament was in October of 1972. The grand prize was a year-long subscription to Rolling Stones magazine, and they played Space
Oh,
Invaders. And 10,000 people showed up to watch.
if I ever sign up for a gaming tournament, they better offer me a year subscription to Rolling Stones.
Yeah, we're gonna pass on the $1 million. Okay, we want
Yeah,
magazines delivered to our house that we can throw away.
Rolling Stone, Game Informer, Sports Illustrated. Give them to me.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, I mean, and this is cool. You know, this is where it all started. This is where it kicked off. What's crazy to me is that 10,000 people attended this. You know?
Yeah,
Because
that was a lot more than I thought. Honestly,
yeah.
when I read this, 10,000. That's for Space Invaders.
Yeah. And I mean, just for reference, the specific article that mentioned that came from Bounty Gaming, so be sure to check them out. But like when I was reading these numbers, I was like, man, like during the 70s, you got to think like this was a time when video games was still pretty frowned upon. You know what I mean? Like this was a time when people were still convinced that like Dungeons and Dragons was of Satan. Video games were exclusively for children and too expensive to be a child's toy anyways. Like they were not nearly as well respected as they were today. But there were still enough gamers out there and enough people with enough passion that 10,000 people attended this tournament, and that is amazing, you know?
Yeah, and I believe it was at Stanford, a college. So like people in a time where games were looked down upon, the first big tournament took place at a place of higher education. I think there's some irony in that. Pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I think that those were people who were forward thinking and could kind of see where things were going
Yeah.
with gaming, you know?
Yeah,
Like
for
it
sure.
makes sense that the first gaming tournament would take place at a place of higher education because like you can see trends in the tech industry if you're paying attention and kind of where things are going, you know? It's kind of like for anybody who's paying attention to gaming right now, it is not hard to see that virtual reality is the future, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's not the only future, but it is the biggest part of the future. I mean, I think that like the first really truly accessible and affordable virtual reality is going to be as big as the Wii. Bigger even.
Yeah.
You know? Because you're hitting so many audiences with things like that. And these guys saw that about video games back then, you know? They were like, this is fun,
Right.
this is accessible, this is cool, there's entertainment value, there's competition, this is exactly what people are going to want. And sure enough, here we are years later, having multi-million-dollar prize pools for esports tournaments, you know, for people to play video games. People out here making a living, playing video games on the internet.
Millions of people that aren't even making a living, just playing games on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to have a good time with people, man. Like it is an incredible thing for sure.
Yeah, it's come a long ways. So
yeah,
we got some big titles in esports. You want to take the first one?
yeah, sure. So the first title we're gonna talk about here is Quake. Quake's biggest prize pool that we could find online was during the Quake World Championship in 2017, a grand total of $660,000, which is that's in 2017. It's not the biggest prize pool that was going around in 2017, but that's $660,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
especially for a game like Quake too, you know? Because like
yeah.
I love Quake personally. Like I've got some attachment to the franchise just from playing earlier ones when I was younger. But I mean, this is an older game.
It is. This wasn't Quake the first. Oh, we'll go over that later. Never mind. Do you have anything else to say about that?
No, I'm just surprised that there are still this many people competing in a tournament for that much money playing Quake. That's it. I say it shocked me. You know, I think it's cool.
They released that one new Quake recently, didn't they? It was Quake.
I have no
I
idea.
don't remember the name.
I have
Yeah,
no
we'll
idea.
move on.
I know there was a new Unreal Tournament. I don't know if that's might be what you're thinking of because they're somewhat similar, but I'm not sure if there's been a new Quake. I'll take a look if you want to keep talking about the game. But
so next thing we have listed is Quake held the Red Annihilation multiplayer event in May 1997, which many people consider to be the start of esports tournaments we have today, which is what I was gonna say earlier. I forgot we wrote it down, but like it was like the first competitive shooter, right? That like everyone really got into, started getting really competitive with. Yeah, Quake is sick, dude.
So you were actually right. Quake Champions came out August 10th, 2018.
Yeah, right. I remember hearing about that. I couldn't remember the name.
So literally a year after their biggest tournament ever, Quake Champions came out, and people are still playing that on Steam.
Yeah, they're like, we made a little bit of money off this tournament. It's time to pump out a new Quake.
Yeah,
I don't think that one took off as well, though.
Definitely
I don't hear anything much about that.
But I mean, Quake, Unreal Tournament, all those games. I mean, they're hard. You know, they're challenging. They're designed a certain way. They're very fast. You have to be very accurate. There's a really high skill ceiling, like, and a really low skill floor. Honestly, like you come into that game, you are bad. Like you are terrible, and it takes a long time to climb your way up compared to people who have been playing the game and dealing with the franchise for such a long time, especially a franchise that has changed so little. It's kind of like people who've been playing Counter-Strike for the last like 20 years. You know, they're on another level from the people who just started playing Counter-Strike right now.
Yeah. Quake. I've never played Quake, and you know, I've never really been interested in playing Quake, but it always looked cool, and I've known about its roots, so I respect where Quake came from. Quake is a very worthy mention here for sure.
Most definitely. The next one on our list is Counter-Strike, and the WESG 2016 Counter-Strike Global Offensive prize pool was $1,500,000. I imagine this has only grown since then. I mean, I didn't look into it too much, but like, there's so much money in Counter-Strike. I mean, this game specifically. I mean, this game gets played on ESPN.
Yeah,
that's insane. Well,
that was the biggest prize pool I could find. 2020, if there was anything going on 2020, it might have been bigger, but I didn't see anything about 2020.
Yeah, a lot of esports, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. But like a lot of esports stuff had to kind of get put on the back burner because 2020. I mean, you couldn't have crowds.
Yeah.
So it was all online anyways. Everything would have been done over Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I feel like, funny enough, I think there's been quite a large spike in gaming and competitive gaming this year because of that.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing a whole lot more people watching things online and bring more attention to these like online events, I think.
Most definitely. I mean, there's more people at home, you know? And like, along with more interest in gaming, because there's more people at home, that means more interest in gaming tournaments. You know?
Yeah.
Like the audience has broadened because there's a lot more people getting into gaming more than they ever have, you know? Especially with things like PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile coming out, you know? All that stuff. I mean, they're
amping it up.
It's the year of the gamer, a year where everybody is forced to stay inside. It's perfect. So the next one that we have is StarCraft. And through 2017 to 2019, the prize pool has been $700,000, which is the biggest prize pool that it's had for the history of StarCraft. That's been a consistent thing. It's been growing slowly over the past few years. Have you ever seen any professional StarCraft play, like a tournament or anything?
Yeah, it's like the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Those people go ahead. Their brain synapses are firing faster than any human on this planet. I don't understand how they can connect their brain with their hands so swiftly. It's truly a wonder to behold.
Yeah, I got to go to BlizzCon in 2013, I believe it was, and yeah, it was 2013, and I got to see the World Championships for StarCraft live, and it was amazing. There was a huge crowd of people like out in front, all going crazy every single time something happened, and I understood none of what was going on. I don't play strategy games like that very often. I'll play through the campaign once of like Warcraft or StarCraft, you know, things like that. Warhammer, you know, if you're into the like 40K universe of that. Like, it was electric. All these people yelling and screaming in a stadium over these guys like sitting in front of their computer making insane troop movements. I mean, I watched a guy do a move where he basically was getting ready to lose a game, is what it looked like. Like the one player was playing, I think Zerg, and he was playing Protoss, and
Mhm.
I think this guy's nickname is the Boss Toss or something like that. I think that's what I heard people calling him, which I think is an incredible nickname, by the way. As the Zerg were like getting ready to like push into his base and everything like that, he took all of his troops and did like a huge troop movement, like inside of some carrier that can transport troops or teleport troops or whatever troop type he was using could like teleport around the map like crazy, and teleported to some completely different location and just like wiped the guy out like immediately. Like, and it was some like massive play that he did it because the guy thought he was going to be defending the whole time and like had moved all of his troops away from his base to try to go for a final push to secure a kill, and the dude won. And it's just insane, you know? Like, and people went nuts. Like, people were losing their minds. Like, they had the little like things that people slapped together, the plastic things. Like, the energy was
sticks.
Yeah, the thunder sticks. Yeah, I mean the energy was palpable, man. You could cut that with a knife. I mean, it was genuinely one of the most exciting things I've ever been to. It was incredible.
What was that guy's name again? Boss Toss?
I'm pretty sure that's the guy. That's the nickname I heard thrown out. But yeah, I mean, it was.
Were they like cheering it? Were they like Boss Toss?
I don't think so. It was something I read afterwards watching a VOD. Yeah, someone mentioned it, that they call him that like in his streams and stuff like that when he plays.
That would have been so sick.
Yeah. So
that's StarCraft is crazy, man. Like that game is takes a big brain to play at that level for sure.
Yeah.
I have you tried? Did you say you tried to play StarCraft before?
I played the campaign on easy.
I tried to play online once, and it was like it was not fun. It was very. I would never do it again.
I mean,
that is a watch game for me.
Trying to play StarCraft 2 when you don't know StarCraft 2 is like trying to play Valorant with a controller. Okay, you're not going to have a good time. You're really not going to have a good time.
I even played with my buddy, and it was stalemate for like 3 hours. We're like, what do we even?
Yeah, it's hard.
We gathered some materials and attack, but my units aren't strong enough, and I don't have enough stuff to make more units. So like, what do we do now?
Yeah,
it was tough, man.
And it's funny because as soon as you said stalemate, he put the question marks in chat. I thought it was because you mentioned chess earlier, but I could have been wrong there. But StarCraft is an incredible game, and our fun fact for StarCraft, because we kind of tried to include like, prize pool discussion and then like a fun fact about each one. If players wait for 3 minutes at the briefing screen, okay, and this is on the first StarCraft game, for the first Terran training mission, it will start a scrolling text recipe for Chinese lemon chicken. Fun fact. That's not esports related, but I read that and I was like, we're putting that in. We have to. That's incredible.
Yeah, that was Chinese lemon chicken. That sounds so good right now.
I don't know whose idea that was to put it in, but I love it,
I'm about to log into StarCraft and make some Chinese lemon chicken after this podcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
ASAP.
So, I mean, I'm going to let you take the next game on our list too, by the way. I mean, this is okay. Kind of got to give this one to you.
League of Legends is the next game on our list. League has an enormous competitive scene. If you're on Twitch, you probably know at least something about League of Legends and its empire on the browse page, right? So in 2015, 360 million hours were spent watching Worlds, which is like the big tournament for League. That I included that because I think that's crazy. Like on my channel, I have maybe like I don't know, within maybe like 10 to 20,000 hours watched.
Yeah.
And I stream nearly every day of the week, right? They stream Worlds for like a series of like a few weeks or something, and that's insane.
Around a month, I would guess.
Actually crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like
you mentioned their reign on the browse page and stuff like that, but like there's actually currently a tournament something going on right now. The LCS is live broadcasting a match right now, FlyQuest versus Cloud9. I mean, there's always esports stuff happening with this game. Like always.
Yeah, they stay busy for sure. And they put a lot of money into their tournaments as well. I don't know if anyone has ever seen those, like, I think it was last year's Worlds or something, where they got like those hologram dragons and they pay for these celebrities to perform, and it's a big ordeal for sure.
Yeah.
But in 2018, the biggest prize pool for League was 6,450,000 doll hairs.
Wow.
That's which I think is the biggest prize pool we've talked about yet.
Yeah, and that
That's
is, man, that's a lot of money.
yeah,
It's
just
not
to play
quite
League.
it's not quite that one kid who won all the Fortnite money, but that is a lot of money to win playing League of Legends, and that's crazy.
Yeah, that is insane.
But at the same time,
Oh,
you said they watched how many hours was it? 360 million
360 million.
hours? I mean,
Imagine
just
that ad revenue,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, just in ad revenue and sponsorships alone, you know they're making that back anyways. And then all the people
Oh
who watch
yeah,
who are fans who buy like I don't know if League of Legends does team skins. Do you know if they do that? For
they
like
do.
teams who
Yeah.
compete and stuff like that, people who are
Whoever
fans of
wins
the game.
worlds, yeah, the winners of worlds, they get the team that they used. Those champions will get like skins for that team. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, stuff like that sells gangbusters, you know? After a win, the whole crowd is hyped. Everybody's going out there. They want to support the game, support their favorite players, you know?
Yeah,
Characters that they like. What, champions? Champs? Is that what they call them in League?
yeah, they call them champs,
Champs.
champions.
Yeah. And I mean, I personally, as someone who is not a League of Legends player, I have watched 3 League of Legends World Championships in my life just because they're awesome to watch, you know? Like, they are so cool to watch. I mean, I have probably spent, now that I think about it, I want to say like 10 hours every World Championship when that happens, just like watching like the top brackets. Because even
Yeah,
not knowing what's going on, like the commentators are top notch, all the like the infographics and stuff and information that they display on the screen that makes it easy to digest for viewers is fantastic, you know? And then on
yeah,
top of that, these players, there are so many people playing League of Legends. These are the upper echelon of players. I mean, these are the top of the top players in the world. And I mean, it shows. It shows that they're on another
it
level.
does.
Even watching
It,
really good streamers play. I mean, the skill gap is insane.
yeah, in I feel like so many cool league is probably I don't watch a whole lot of sports, and I never even really watched a whole lot of league esports even when I was into league, but like when I did watch it, there was something about it that got me more hype than any other game probably on this list that we're talking about. Like just like that race to the Nexus,
Yeah.
and there's so little like they play so safe and so calculated that people just dying like every 2 minutes. Like there's maybe, within 10 to 20 deaths every match. Like it's they're really taking advantage of every opportunity they have. So when something like that happens, it's like, "Oh my gosh, like the game's about to change because that guy died." Like
Yep.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Also, I have to mention real quick, Roach just donated 200 bits in the chat. Thank you so much, Roach. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Roach.
That guy, Roach,
Much
you're
love.
amazing. Very much love. You got those little heart emotes out there showing and everything. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you showing supporting the show. The next game on our list is Dota 2. And the International for 2019 had the biggest prize pool to date of, I believe, any esports event in the history of esports with $34,330,069.
Woo-wee.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. Still not worth playing Dota 2 for.
That's the takeaway here. It's still not worth the time for investment, but
they deserve
that's a lot.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, those players have earned every single one of those dollars. And I think that's what makes it so much better for the people that actually play Dota 2, because a lot of this was raised through crowdfunding, if not all of this. I think Valve may have matched a certain portion of the crowdfunding money as well as had like a base prize pool, but they do a lot of crowdfunding for their worlds. And a lot of this is funded by the players buying skins and supporting the game and like a annual pass and whatever system that it is that they use to do that. And I think it's incredible. I really do.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about Dota 2, but I know they have a really like well, to me their competitive scene was always really like hidden, probably just cuz I keep up with the game. I don't care about it that much. I just feel like it's like a really big scene that you don't hear too much about, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But that could be just because I'm not involved with it at all. I don't know. It just feels very like quiet to me.
It definitely feels a lot more quiet outside of, or aside from like League of Legends or Counter-Strike or games like that,
Yeah. I I don't know. I feel like if I was into it, it would probably have that same energy that League gives me. because I'm sure it's kind of similar in a way where like it wouldn't mean the difference in a game, but
Yeah.
yeah, nah, not me. League caught my heart first, so.
And I mean, about like MOBAs and shooters specifically, typically the end goal is the same, you know? With
Yeah.
MOBA games, it's, you know, you kill the enemy, like Inhibitor, Titan, whatever it is, any of that stuff, you know, you kill that, you know, and then you win. And there's team fights that happen, and there's a laning phase, and there's jungle camps and all that stuff. So to an extent, you can kind of digest the information and understand what's going on. But there's so much else going on in Dota 2 that I don't understand. Like, I can watch their worlds and get a little bit of enjoyment, but I'll watch for maybe 20 minutes to an hour. Not for a very long time.
I've never actually seen any competitive Dota. I tried to play Dota I think when I was taking a break from League, because League used to really rustle my jimmies, so I would just not play it for a little bit, and I was like, okay, I want to play League, but I don't want to play League. Let me try Dota 2, and it was not League, that's for sure.
Oh gosh, I think my mic might have been muted there for a second, so I'm just gonna say that again. But like, I just to reiterate, I mean, like I think that there's a lot of like familiarity between all the MOBAs, like enough so that people can, you know, kind of track along with what's happening in Dota 2, similarly to what happens in League of Legends or Smite or Heroes of the Storm. I mean, there's an objective and people follow it, and that's it. So that was the thought that I had on that.
Gotcha.
Fortnite, man, it's the esports for this game is probably one of the most interesting to me because, like, how do you have a tournament with that many players? You know what I mean? Because like we look at games like Counter-Strike or League of Legends or Dota 2, and it's like 5v5 teams. You know?
Yeah, there's specifically with the prize pool we're about to talk about, it was a solo prize pool, so it wasn't like they were doing duos or trios or quads or whatever you do in Fortnite. Like these are individual players on Fortnite. It's you and 99 opponents, right? 100 people total.
Yeah,
and there's a prize pool of $15,287,500, and this was the finals in 2019. So like, you know, do they divvy it up? Is there a second place winner? Is there a third place winner? Is it winner takes all 15 mil? Like
I can't imagine they would do winner takes all 15 mil, but even if they did, the top 10 people get prizes, you know? I mean, that is 90 like people left out in the cold, isn't it?
Yeah, dude, that's a lot of people. And I feel like there's so much, you know, there's a lot of skill in battle royales, but I feel like there can be a good amount of luck attributed to this. Like, you know, if you drop somewhere and for all you know, nothing could be spawned there. I mean, you can find a chest, and I think chests have to have like rare items or whatever, but like you could get stiffed, you could get a bad rare item, you know? Like I'm sure some guy who was really good at Fortnite probably got stiffed because he just didn't get the right items, and some guy that might have been like a little worse than him had better items and bested him because of it.
Yeah. And I mean, something that I see a lot in like Apex Legends, and that's not a game that's on the list, but it's also a battle royale, so I'm going to talk about it here. But like, is they'll do multiple rounds and like a point system.
Yeah.
And that makes sense to me. But Apex Legends is also a team game, so there's 3 players on each team. You know, so it's and only 60 people, so it doesn't feel like it's as big of a loss for as many people. But like, the fact that it's that much RNG, even in a like round based system, you know, where there's multiple rounds and they score it by points based on your, you know, how many kills you get, what place you get, all that stuff. It's still crazy that like your victory or your loss could be determined by just randomness.
Yeah.
You know? Like I hope that whoever's there wasn't banking on their $1 million and then pulling gray items out of a chest, you know? Like that'd be too much. Oh, you had to sneeze? Sorry, bless you.
Yeah, I did. No, thank you. That's all good.
Yeah. So the next game on our list is Overwatch, and this one kind of hits home for me. I mean, I played a lot of Overwatch. I love Overwatch. I mean, have you watched any of the Overwatch League?
I watched like the first season ever of Overwatch League because that was the time where I was actually into it, and then I kind of don't watch it. If I don't like play a game or like it that much, I don't really watch competitive. Because I'm like, man, I wish it makes me want to play it, and then it's like a game I don't really like, so I don't really want to play it. But these guys are like so good that I'm like, whoa, this game looks kind of fun again.
Yeah.
But then you play it and you're not as good as them, and it's just this like spiral of sadness. So yeah, no, I'm
and the game is fine, but it's not for you, you know?
Yeah, Overwatch is all right. I'm just kind of I think I had my time with Overwatch
Yeah, and I think
specifically.
it's a really cool game. I think that this entire game was kind of engineered from the ground up with esports in mind. I think Blizzard saw where the scene was going, and they were like, we want to get in on this. So they've got their teams from all around the country, from different cities: New York Excelsior, San Francisco Shock, what is it? The Houston Outlaws, I think, is what
Yeah.
their team is called. And they've done a lot of things to kind of brand this as a sport. Like a traditional sport, not just an esport, and I love it. I think it's
Yeah,
excellent.
that I think that the way that they did that whole thing is so much cooler than any other esports team that I know of. Like they have cities and stuff. That's cool. That's the way to do it, I think. Like then you're giving people like something to hold on to. Like if I was from Houston, I'd be like, "That's my team, dude.
Yeah.
Houston all the way. Let's go." Like that's cool, you know? You always want to cheer for your home team, so I think they did a good job with that.
Yeah, and it's not just America either. I mean, they've got teams from I think Shanghai has a
Yeah.
team as well. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's awesome, I think that's really cool. But like I personally still have I actually got a New York Excelsior Brigida skin inside of the game because that was the team that I was really rooting for at the peak of like watching Overwatch, and Brigida was a character I was playing a lot. And like the skins in the game look incredible. I mean, they did a really good
Yeah.
job on all of their esports stuff, honestly. I've been
They did
really
great
impressed.
great marketing. Yeah, like, I mean, they give you these cool skins so you can essentially rep like a jersey in game for the team you like. They give it they give their team city names. Like there's a lot of stuff they gave people to latch onto, I think, that made that competitive scene so successful right off the bat.
Yeah. And I mean, as much as I don't watch a lot of Overwatch League anymore, and I think a lot of people feel the same way about this, like there's something to be said about the production value of the way Blizzard does esports, and with Overwatch in particular. Like I don't know if you got to see their worlds, like either in 2019 or the year before that, but like the stage for their world championships is incredible. It looks so good. It's so modern and so clean and like lit up, and all the players walk in onto this platform and like sit across from each other, and there's like a huge Overwatch emblem in the center, and like, oh man, it looks like something straight out of the future. It's
And
amazing, dude.
they do their esports pose. They're all hit you with one of those.
Yeah, yeah,
Let me see your
100%.
esports pose, Vince.
My esports pose. Oh gosh,
What is it? Hey, there we
you just
go.
cross your hands and don't just cross your hands and don't look at the camera ever. That's the number one
Look as
rule. Never
serious
look
as
at the camera.
possible.
Yeah, don't you dare smile on screen. I feel like for the most part, it's just because like playing as much as you have to play at that level to an extent. It's kind of like meeting people who like they're really intelligent and have like a really like in-depth science degree or something like that, but like they spent so much time on their education that they didn't get to develop like similar social skills. So like
Yeah.
they're so uncomfortable in person, like when you first meet them, and as soon as you get them to open up, they're good. But like that first meeting, they're
Yeah.
like, nope, let me cross my arms and I don't look at anybody. It's like all the esports players are doing the same thing because they spend so much time and energy just dedicating to this craft, and like that is their
Right.
focus. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about your cameras. They don't care about your hype. They're there to win. They're competitors. That is all they're
Yep.
thinking about when they're in that zone, and I love it, dude. I love that energy. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's funny when like some of those poses crack me up, man. Like I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's like a specific pose or anything, but sometimes I'll see like esports commercials on Twitch or whatever, and I'm just like, man, would it kill you to raise an eyebrow? Maybe just give us a little bit of I'm happy to be here kind
Yeah,
of
no kidding.
It's just like you look miserable, man. Come on.
Oh gosh, that guy Roach just said we need that pose at the beginning of every stream. Yeah, we just need to get some hype going, like some hype music, some like really big like trumpets and like horns section going, music, and then just
like the Monday Night Football music.
Oh.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
that'd be perfect, and then have
Yeah.
the screen like pan down like a slide transition, and it's just me standing
And then
there, arms crossed, not looking at the camera. Perfect, dude. That's content right there. That's money.
We got it.
It's beautiful. The next game on our list though is Call of Duty, and I think that this is one of the games that really. There's a lot of games that you could attribute bringing esports to the the mainstream with, but I think Call of Duty and I mean potentially the next topic after that, which we're going to be talking about, Halo. I think that those two games are probably the most responsible for like this newest generation of esports players getting into it. the Call of Duty Championship 2020 prize pool was $4,600,000. And I mean, like, even people who I know that don't watch any esports or don't even play Call of Duty, they watch Call of Duty League. And that's crazy to me. I think it's Call of Duty League. That's CDL, right? So you can confirm for me, big man, if you don't know Devin. But yeah.
I believe that is what it is. It surprises me the pool isn't bigger, honestly. I feel like Call of Duty has been so big for so long and such like a force in the competitive scene that like I don't know. I could have seen it being like at like a 10 million. That probably would have been like a guess of mine before I'd seen the figure.
For me personally, and this is one of the most disappointing things about the Call of Duty League, and that's that Activision has an incredible game that sells millions, and they spend as little as they need to make it functioning. That's it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and we can talk about a lot of things about Call of Duty that are wrong and that should be fixed, but like looking at this specifically, this prize pool could have been massive. The Call of Duty League is massive. People love this. People love the players, you know? Like, they love all the orgs and the franchises and all the videos they do. I mean, this is a money machine right here, the Call of Duty League is. And for it to be a 4,600,000 prize pool in today's day and age is kind of unacceptable, you know? It should have definitely been up there with Fortnite's numbers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's 2020. It's the newest number we could find. That's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah, and I mean when I look at
it's throw them a few mil, FaZe Clan. Come on,
or something. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing that surprises me the least about this though is honestly that it's lower than we expected it to be. Because you look at Amazon, or sorry, I said Amazon. Gosh, I'm like on that thought like process, I guess. But like when you look at Activision and how much they spend on Call of Duty's servers, okay, Call of Duty has some of the worst servers in the gaming industry for their games. Okay. Like Warzone runs at 12 hertz tick rate. We've spoken a little bit about this before. 12 hertz tick rate for the server. If you're not familiar with tick rate, okay, tick rate is how often the servers are updating your character's location relative to the location of other characters and objects within the world. So anytime a bullet is fired, it's how often it pings where the bullet is as it's being fired and whether or not you're going to get hit when they're aiming at you and all that stuff. That's tick rate, okay? For reference, Apex Legends has 24 hertz tick rate servers. Counter-Strike Global Offensive has 60 hertz tick rate servers on their free-to-play servers and 120 hertz tick rate servers on their paid servers. Valorant has 120 hertz tick rate servers on all of their servers. You know what I mean? But even Apex has 24. That's double what Call of Duty has. And there is no way that Apex Legends is bringing in more money than Warzone and Call of Duty. There is no way. Yeah, I will not believe you if you tell me.
No
it's
way.
impossible.
I agree.
So where's the money going? Where's it all going? It's certainly not going to their esports players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's certainly not going to the people who make your game popular. You know? It's crazy. Activision, spend the money properly. You could make so much more. Like, and that's the part that's crazy to me, you know? Like, I feel like they've hit a certain point where they're kind of just like accepting the fact that, hey, you know, we've made the money and we're okay now. We can rest easy. And they're just coasting back and they're doing everything as cheaply as they can because they know people will eat it up. And
they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Time to boycott COD, boys.
Let's get on it. I feel like people have been trying for so long, but people keep buying it. I mean, I'm guilty. I bought the last COD. I had a lot of fun with the last COD
one too.
You know, but
I didn't buy Cold War though.
You didn't buy Black Ops Cold War?
I haven't bought Cold War. I bought Modern Warfare.
That was the last COD. Was Black Ops Cold War?
Yeah. That's the most recent. I forgot that it existed because I didn't buy it.
Oh, got you. Okay. I actually did buy that, and I had a lot of fun with it, but Warzone still sucks, so fix it, guys. And I think even the people who play Warzone will agree with me that Warzone sucks. Like, every person I've played with or talked to also kind of hates that game.
I mean, I don't even play it, and I'll tell you Warzone sucks, so... that should say something.
Yeah, exactly. And Corman just said in the chat, didn't Activision fire a ton of employees, then give a new CFO a 1 million plus bonus to join them? Wouldn't surprise me. That sounds absolutely right.
Yeah.
That sounds like Activision to me.
That's a business move.
Big Man Steve said DMR Zone is ass at the moment. Might as well call it DMR Zone. That's what I've heard. That is the meta. So it'll be curious to see how Call of Duty League shapes out, but I hope the players get paid what they deserve, honestly. I think that they deserve a lot more than they're getting. That's for sure. I would like to see some kind of, like contracts start springing up and a little bit more attention played to how much esports players are getting paid and how much they're getting taken care of.
And like to finish things off, I know we've been going on about Call of Duty for a while here, but maybe there is some like behind the scenes stuff. some contracts going on with some of the like
Yeah.
the top dogs behind the scenes, but that's like the tournament pool. I guess we don't really know the whole truth, but that it's still a small pool. You can make it bigger. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. The next game on our list is Halo, and the Halo World Championship in 2016 had a $2,500,000 prize pool. Have you ever watched any Halo esports?
I've watched like old Halo esports YouTube videos because it makes me long for a better time.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of like Halo 5 esports, and I was kind of bored. I mean, I was just a little bit disinterested in it, honestly. It didn't really hit for me too hard.
I don't like the new stuff.
Yeah.
The new stuff is kind of whatever. I think the old stuff only appeals to me like purely because of nostalgia value. Like I see Halo 3 and I'm like, yes, this is childhood for me. So I enjoy that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look at, something like Halo 5 where their entire like marketing campaign, it seemed like, was that this was built from the ground up for esports. Do you remember those trailers when it was announced and coming out and stuff like that? Like they were really stuff. Pushing the esports angle with Halo 5. And that was kind of confusing to me because like early Halo tournaments and stuff like that is a lot of like the birthplace for a lot of people's love for esports nowadays, but there is so little about modern Halo that has that same energy. I feel like it's a completely different game.
I haven't played Halo in probably since I had my 360, and that was maybe like 8 or 9 years ago, dude. Who knows? It's been a while because I was already on the PS4 train by then, and I wasn't thinking about Halo at all. Yeah. I'm still not really thinking about Halo. I'm only thinking about it right now because we have it written down here.
Yeah. A large part of the reason I'm not thinking about it is because it hasn't been on PC in such a long time. The Master Chief Collection finally came out, but the newest one still isn't on PC yet. What's going on with that?
True.
The architecture is so similar. I mean, it's something they could do, I feel like. I just don't know why they haven't. They might be just dedicating all of their resources to the new Halo Infinite that's coming out, but I mean, that looks like
they want to sell their console.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think that's it because Game Pass exists,
Yeah, I mean,
they want people to play everything everywhere.
It's true, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, that's like they're only really like, for me, I feel like Halo would be the only reason I would ever want an Xbox, and now that's gone because of Game Pass,
Yeah, everything's coming for PC. So,
yeah, like
it's a weird landscape,
that's why I see it that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Halo's kind of a sleeper in the esports department, but I'd be curious to see what they do with the next game. I mean, if Halo Infinite comes out and it's better than anybody expects, we might see esports start to pop up for Halo in a big way again. I would love to see it happen, but I'm sick. Yeah, I'm a little doubtful though. I'm a little doubtful.
I'll probably forget about it, and if it happens, I'll be stoked, and if it doesn't, then I forgot about it and it won't matter. So it'll be all right.
100%. The next one I know hits home for a lot of people, but Rocket League. I think that this is one of the coolest esports games. I'm a real big fan of like the non-traditional esports, not like shooters, not MOBAs, everything else in between. This game in general is amazing.
I think for me, Rocket League has such a unique flair because it feels like something that could actually be like a sport in real life. Like I feel like it is just the definition of like an esport. Like if FIFA was super competitive, I feel like that would be like the pinnacle of like the definition of esport. It's a video game sport, but like Rocket League, it's like soccer and go-karts, right? Like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels so like it feels sport. It's a sport. It hits right for me. And it's just an incredible game. It's got a nice little skill cap and a tight learning curve. It's cool, man. Rocket League is a sick game. I know we've talked about it before, but worth mentioning in esports for sure.
I mean, and it's fun to watch and it's fun to play, and it's one of those things that like I think skill-based matchmaking in this game specifically is kind of like one of the most important games to have it in that's out. I'm usually a very big advocate for get rid of skill-based matchmaking, but in a game like this, like looking specifically at the skill gap between the pro players in Rocket League that are flying through the air juggling balls as they're flying, like, and someone who's like, I might be able to hit it this time if I boost fast enough before they score on me, just driving along the ground, like not sure how to turn properly and stuff like that. Like when you first start playing, Rocket League is hard, man. And if you go up against someone really like that, you're not even going to get to learn. you're just gonna get your teeth kicked in the whole time. It's gonna be a bad time, you know.
The pros are it's kind of elegant to watch, like the ball control they have. Like
Seriously.
if you've played Rocket League and you know those controls, you understand how difficult it is to move the ball in the way that these people do. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Almost like I feel like it's almost little it's a lot more pretty to watch than someone who's really good at shooters, I think. Like it's just looks so graceful.
It
It's
really
very
does.
cool.
Yeah.
But like high energy and kind of chaotic at the same time. It's a cool esport, man. I like that. I like Rocket League a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that Roach said, they play real life Rocket League in Japan, small cars and a giant ball, but no flying though. Got to get the flying in there. We
Put some boosters on it and then we'll talk. All right.
put some what on it?
Put some boosters on it.
Oh gosh.
We need to get those things up in the air.
If you're not actually flying through the air hitting the soccer balls, it's not good enough. We need to take it farther. And the championship prize pool for Rocket League season 7, I think, was $529,500. And I mean, this sounds kind of in line to me. You know, Rocket League is a pretty popular game, but it's not the biggest game. I think they had like a 1 million total prize pool for the 2020 series or whatever that they did across all their games, but that was like for the championships for sure. You know, to win it all was for the 529,000. I think that's a good amount for a game like this.
I do too. It doesn't seem like too much. Doesn't seem like too little. One thing I did notice is that figure is closer to Call of Duty than it is to Fortnite. So that's something.
Yeah, that's
another little knock at Call of Duty really quick.
You said that prize pool is closer to Call of Duty than Call of Duty is to Fortnite? Was the comparison?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that. Yeah. It's like a difference of like $4 million versus a difference of $11 million from Call of Duty to Fortnite.
Yeah. Or Dota. It's even bigger with Dota.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Dota being 34 million. I mean, I think that's where it's going. I think the Dota prize pool is going to continue to get bigger, and I think that's the numbers we're going to start to see in esports for people who take it seriously, you know? So Dota 2, Fortnite, you know, Overwatch potentially, League of Legends for sure, Counter-Strike. I mean, I think that's where it's going. So then, what's up? Do it.
One game. Actually, we'll get to it. I'll bring it up later.
You better not forget.
It's not. I won't forget. It's important.
All right, you better not.
Like, oh man, watch. I'm gonna hit you with a heater.
All right, I'm ready. All right, so the next game on our list is World of Warcraft. And this is one that I wanted to bring up specifically because one, I play World of Warcraft. I like this game, and then two, they have 3 different like esports events that happen in the game, and I think they're pretty unique because 2 of them are PvE events and 1 of them is PvP. So they do their like arena world championships. I think those actually might be going on right now. I know there's people talking about them in my other like Discord that I play World of Warcraft in. I could be wrong though. But the 2020 arena World of Warcraft prize pool was $500,000. That's pretty cool. And then they also do what's called a Mythic Dungeon International, where people run through and do the dungeons at a high difficulty because the difficulty scales. You know, so they do it at a really high difficulty as fast as they can, and it's timed. And there's multiple teams all running these dungeons as fast as they can.
And fastest time wins, is it?
Yeah. Whoever gets the best time wins. Yeah, I think they do like a few different ones, like a few different dungeons, and whoever has the best time across the board wins. It's like point based.
Sounds kind of hype.
Yeah, it's cool.
You like WoW.
Yeah, if you
really
like
cool.
If you like WoW and you like dungeons, I mean, it's really interesting to watch. And these people are playing incredibly well. I mean, some of the stuff they do is mind-boggling. And then the arena is like your typical. I think they do 3 versus 3 is the standard, but they might do like 2v2 arenas, 3v3 arenas, and 5v5 arenas. So they might do all of it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know I've seen a lot personally of the 3 versus 3. And then the last like big esports event World of Warcraft does is the Race to World First. And this is usually broadcasted by individual teams. It's not like a Blizzard event specifically that they put on, but all the big guilds in World of Warcraft race to see who can complete each raid as it releases first. And it's a huge event, man. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people watching World of Warcraft to see these teams compete and finish these raids. And the boss fights are hard and grueling. And it is days and weeks of pulls trying to complete these bosses. And it's awesome.
That's the MMO spirit right there. I love that stuff. Just see how much everybody will come together for something that's not worth any money, but just the I don't know, like recognition, I guess, the gratification that your guild were the ones that did this. Like that's a unique MMO thing, I feel like.
Yeah. And I think it's awesome to watch, because not a lot of
It
people
is
get
very
to
cool.
not a lot of people get to raid Mythic ever. Mythic is the highest tier of difficulty in World of Warcraft, and it is hard. I mean, it is really hard. Like I've never done it personally. I've been playing WoW for a long time. I've never even tried. I don't have any intent of ever trying to raid Mythic, honestly. But watching these people play it at such a high level and like how it's evolved over the past few years, because before they didn't even used to stream this because people were
Yeah.
racing. So you didn't want other teams to see your strategies or anything like that, and it got intense and competitive. And then finally, Complexity was like, okay, we can make some money off of this. Let's stream it. Screw it. So they did theirs live, and then people started doing live events for it, and it's cool. And now it's being broadcast by a whole bunch of teams, and everybody's kind of in on this, and it's fun. But one thing that they actually did this last year for the first time, I think it started in 2020 for the first time in one of those raid tiers, was the guild leader of Complexity Limit. His name's Max. He sat out the raid and watched the raid from one of his other players' point of views and coached the whole time. He was only just there making callouts. He was understanding the fight. Whoa. He was telling people what to do, all that stuff. And he was coaching their team of I think it's 25 people for Mythic raiding. And
that's crazy.
Or it might be 20. I say it's either 20 or 25, and a lot of the other guilds were like, oh man, that's what we got to start doing, and they've started kind of following suit and having someone else be there only as a coach, and that's the first time in World of Warcraft history that they've had someone do that, and they won that race to world first, and they actually won the most recent race to world first as well.
That's pretty cool though. Like it sounds so over the top for just like a world first achievement, but like I don't know. That's esports, I guess. That's competitive spirit, I suppose. It's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, I mean that's the future right there, man.
Yeah.
That's where it's going, and it's kind of crazy to see. But the next game on our list is Hearthstone, and I like this one, man. I mean, I think it's awesome. I think Hearthstone esports is some of the most fun esports to watch, and I think it's frustrating for the players. But the main reason I enjoy watching it is because of how much RNG is in Hearthstone.
Yeah. It makes it takes out a little bit of the skill and replaces it with like unpredictability. That's fun to watch.
Yeah. And it's unpredictability in a way that I think is humorous as opposed to Battle Royale games. Like Battle Royale RNG frustrates me. Hearthstone RNG makes me laugh. It really does. And I can't explain why, but it's something so funny about it.
I feel like the RNG in Hearthstone doesn't necessarily I mean, you can be set back very far depending on your draws, but I feel like a well-made deck, you can pull any card and it'll probably work in some way if you've done your homework, But some of those random spell cards and stuff, that can create hilarious situations.
Yeah.
Also, on the topic of Hearthstone, specifically Hearthstone's competitive scene is I hold it very close to my heart because when I was 16, that was the reason I wanted to stream. It's because I would watch people play Hearthstone and I loved Hearthstone and I was like, dude, I want to play Hearthstone and stream it. I want to be a Hearthstone streamer, dude. That's just a side note, personal thing about me. That's why I started.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's something that can be said about esports too, is people watch people compete and it makes them want to play. Seeing people play at the highest of the high levels of games really is a great marketing tool for people who want to get into playing games themselves, they see someone else do this and it looks fun because they are the best at it. And my cat is climbing on my shoulder again. Okay, kitty, that's fine. And I think that's one of the best tools for seeing the game as it's intended to be played, it was designed to be played like this at the perfect capacity, and when developers think about testing their game, these are the things they keep in mind as people who play this good, it's almost like the perfect sample of what you could eventually be doing in a game. All right, kitty, it's time to get down. I'm sorry, you gotta go.
For the listeners, Vince's cat is just climbing up his shoulder. Looking for some love right now.
Pretty much. She likes to cuddle. Yeah, Ori's the best. So Hearthstone 2016 had a prize pool of $1 million. I think that's awesome. I think it's cool for a card game, you know?
Yeah, it's a very very well received, large audience card game. And it has been for a while. Hearthstone, I was in I was in 7th grade when Hearthstone came out in beta, I think. So probably what, like at least like 10 years now, right?
Gosh,
Something
has
like
it been
that.
10
Maybe
years?
8. Maybe 8,
Um,
maybe not 10. 7 or
when I
8
went to
at least.
BlizzCon 2013, they had it there to be able to be played. Like that was the year Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm got announced. Um, so it would have been in beta, I think in late 2013, early 2014, and released in 2014 for Hearthstone. Oh, sorry.
So
No, I'm getting my years. Yeah. No, that's right. It was
yeah.
2013,
Yeah, no, that's
2014.
it.
So it's been about 8 years.
About
Yeah.
yeah, about it 7 to 8 years.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh no. The 10-year anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's
Undying
insane.
Light in chat just said, "How is Hearthstone said? Hearth or like half?" I pronounce it Hearthstone. I've heard people pronounce it Hearthstone also. Hearthstone might be correct. I say Hearth, but you know, different strokes for different folks. I'm sure there's a
I
proper
change
way to
it.
do it.
Yeah, I change it depending on how the person I'm talking to says it.
Yeah, no kidding. Most definitely. Yeah. Kind of.
Like via or via or data or data. I follow what you're doing, so I don't have to talk about it.
It's
You can. I'll go your way.
I don't debate that when I say data, but I mean that's we'll move on
And I
from the
guess I'm
grammar
saying
lesson
data
though.
too, dude.
Perfect. All right, it's data. Well, moving on from the grammar lesson though, Smite is the last game on our list, and I had to include this one because I've been playing a lot of it, and this is probably the game I've watched the most esports of. Like I
Had
have,
that Smite, baby.
yeah, I've enjoyed Smite esports so much. I mean, this is probably the game that's the most responsible for my favorite esports moments that I've had and stuff like that. Like I love watching this game. I think that this game is probably the most accessible MOBA to get into outside of Heroes of the Storm. And even then, because of the movement in this game and the way that you shoot and stuff like that and target your abilities, I mean, it's a third-person shooter game, you know, with MOBA elements. Obviously, there's no verticality. It exists only on the x-axis, so you can't aim up or down. You just aim left to right, you know, and your abilities go that direction.
Which is a lot harder than you'd think it would be.
Yeah.
I've been trying to learn it. It's easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so fun to watch, you know, because you get the aerial cam and you can see all the people running around like you would typically be viewing a League of Legends match, but then they go into the player cam and you can see these people landing their abilities in third person like it's a third person shooter, and it's like the spectator cam in, you know, Call of Duty League or, you know, Counter-Strike or anything like that. And you see these people pulling off these crazy plays and you get to be like right there behind their character as they do it and see all the intricacies of their movement and how much is going on around them to allow them to make the plays that they're making. And I think that it's potentially one of the most entertaining esports to watch. And honestly, their casting team is really good too. I've really enjoyed a lot of their casters these last like couple of years.
I just missed out on watching some of that. I didn't. I mean, I could always go back and look, of course, but you know, there's always that different vibe you get live. I wish I would have some of that.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch next year if you're still into Smite and playing it. But that's it for our list of like big games and stuff like that in the esports scene. We have a few questions that we want to ask each other, but go ahead, man.
Did you listen? The pool, by the way, guys, it was $2,612,259 for the Smite World Championship in 2015.
I'm actually surprised that that's bigger than Hearthstone.
I was gonna say that. That's pretty large. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know. I just got into Smite. I don't really know the whole deets on that game. It does
what?
Does it surprise you how large it is?
I was still following Smite pretty heavily in 2015 personally, you know? So this prize pool doesn't really surprise me that much. I think that the peak of Smite's esports in the last like besides what's coming up in the next couple of years, because I think Smite is really due to like start booming really soon with a lot of the collaborations they're doing and stuff like that. I think that in the last like 8 years since it came out, I think 2014 to 2016 might have been the best era for Smite esports that we've had. And then 2020 into 2021 and moving forward, I think we're getting ready to enter another like golden age like that of Smite esports, but it's been kind of in a lull for a few years.
Go! That's hype.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely hype. 2014, 2015 were actually my like. I mean, I'll talk about it later, but I had one of my favorite gaming like esports moments like because of that year of Smite. So pretty
Oh
hype.
yeah. I mean, you could talk about it right now. We're on the topic. Why not?
All right, so
Unless you got something to transition to. Yeah.
not at all.
Oh
Not at
yeah.
all.
Never mind. Never mind.
I mean, we kind of do, but even still,
Yeah.
many esports players have successfully been able to transfer from playing esports and being competitive players into a career on Twitch. Is that something
Yeah.
that surprises you at all?
It doesn't surprise me. I think one of the biggest and you know, I'd say that's probably one of the most common ways you could think of, like off the top of your head, to be a successful streamer is just get really good at a game. Like that's you either got to be really good at something or really entertaining. So that's one of them for sure.
Yeah, most
Or
definitely.
both. I mean,
And I mean, you look at
so
someone like Shroud who came up from CS, Ninja who came up from Halo, you know? Like both of those players who were very big into the esports scene and now have moved on to being streamers. You know?
yeah.
I think that is definitely like if you want a really quick way to get into streaming, I guess, and I mean quick air quotes here, like huge air quotes for quick, you know?
That's
like from the
why it took me a
perspective of
second to
yeah, from the perspective of
I
you're
was
not
like, I don't
gonna
want to call it easy.
yeah, not at all. And you're not going to have to do the marketing. You know, you're not going to have to start your channel out with 0 viewers. Probably you're not going to have to do any of that stuff. You know, like the growth. But if you grind super hard and you end up becoming a esports pro, which I mean that's like on the same difficulty level as becoming a football pro or a basketball pro. I mean that is the one in a few hundred million that will become that person. You know.
Yeah.
Like it is hard to do, but like transitioning that to a community on Twitch, I think might be like one of the quickest ways to see your Twitch grow quickly. You know, like to go from not having any Twitch presence to suddenly being a face on Twitch. I think that, you know, going from either being a like singer, music artist, actor type thing, or being an esports player and starting your channel. Those are the two ways to just like jump right in and like have success. So I get where you're going with that.
Or a shoutcaster, maybe even shoutcasting if for, you know, those guys get a lot of recognition too.
Very true. Yeah.
It all kind of goes hand in hand. I feel like if you're well known in the gaming industry, you could probably get a nice little kickstart on Twitch.
Most definitely. Yeah. So how have you seen COVID-19 impacting esports this year? It's been kind of an interesting year for esports.
I don't watch a whole lot of esports, but I mean, it's kind of apparent like what COVID did to the atmosphere of gaming. There's a whole lot of people getting into gaming, a whole lot of people putting their all into gaming because they have the time for it now. Like I see that side of things for sure. As far as esports goes, I mean, I know people. There's a whole more people watching online. That's for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah.
That's definitely the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, for me personally, I mean, the last thing I watched was the Smite World Championship, so this is kind of fresh in my head. But the biggest thing that I noticed was there was no crowd. You know,
yeah,
and that's crazy to think about. You know, because Worlds for so long and esports for so long, like the crowd has been a big part of the reason why it's so amazing to watch. You know, like a lot of the energy they get when something hype happens. You know, like it kind of like
you feel that.
Yeah,
feels like you're there almost.
Yeah, even watching.
Did they have tracks playing? Like when something would happen, would they like press a button and you could hear cheers or something like that?
I don't think so. It was just the casters, okay. I believe. And then like music in the background for the game music, maybe.
Yeah.
But that would have been it. I don't remember off the top of my head though. But one of the things that I noticed that was kind of interesting was the way they did Worlds for Smite this year was all of the players for each team were at one location. So for the team that ended up winning, they were all at like one guy's house. Except for one player, he was at another location. And like because of some social distancing thing that he had to do as a requirement to be able to, you know, compete and all that stuff. And to like give them the trophy, because the trophy for Smite is like Thor's hammer sticking out of a rock, and you can actually pull the hammer out of the rock as the trophy. And at the end, they have all the players hold it up like for the ceremony and that sort of thing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And one of the casters, Hindu Man, actually flew out in a helicopter to the house, like after they won Worlds. Yeah, to drop off the trophy for them so that they could go outside and I'll hold it up in the air and stuff like that.
Just landed in their backyard. Where
I don't know where exactly he
have
landed.
A helipad,
but
excuse me.
Yeah, but
That's crazy.
Zapman was the player who was at another location. Corman just mentioned this, and he had to like go run over there real quick and pick up the hammer because he had to be somewhere else. But he could come over and like grab it for a second and then leave again, I guess. But yeah, it's been interesting.
I hope they sanitized it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. You know, they have to. They can't take risks like that.
We have to make sure to follow proper COVID guidelines here. They better have all stood 6 feet apart too.
I can't confirm that. I think the people who were in the same house had been isolating together, and that's why it was okay.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let it slide this time then.
But that's why they had him at a different location and come out later by himself to hold the hammer. So yeah. But it's a crazy world with COVID right now, you know? And it's been impacting esports in both a positive and a negative way, because not having the crowd there definitely hurts esports, the same way that not having a crowd there has been hurting football games. You know, not being able to hear the roar of a crowd during the NFL season has been weird to me.
Well, that's why I asked if they had the track thing. You know, they're doing that in the NFL.
Yeah, and I hate it.
Like, yeah, it's so weird because you know it's fake. It's like,
yeah, it just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'd also make me really uncomfortable if it was super quiet too. So the esports is cool because, like, yeah, it sucks to not have a crowd, but still have your game volume. It's right in your ears, not like a football game where you're just hearing grunts of a bunch of big sweaty dudes and like the slap of a foot in someone's skin. Like, I'm good, dude.
Joke's on you. I'm into that. But do you have any good memories of watching esports?
I remember watching esports at a buddy's house. When I played League, we watched LCS together. We would go over there and watch it like it was some type of big event, and that was always really cool. I forgot what day it was, but it takes place over a series of time, and we would go over there like after school every day or whatever it was, and just crack open some sodas, get some little Debbie snacks, and watch some League of Legends. It was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm missing that, dude.
Definitely.
Thanks for opening up my can of nostalgia, dude.
No kidding, dude.
Go call my buddy after this and ask him how he's doing or something.
Yeah, say go call my mom real fast.
You want to watch League with me, dude? LCS is on right now. You want to come over?
It is actually on right now. That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. For me personally, like my best memory of esports has got to be it was either. I'm having a hard time remembering. It was sometime between 2013 and 2015 though. I've watched so many Smite World Championships at this point, but it was I believe final game of World Championships, and Barracuda is one of the most well-known players in the Smite community, and he's just an incredibly like friendly guy and a really good streamer and like positive attitude, mentality the whole time. Like one of the players like tweeted at him talking trash about his team during the World Championships, and he just retweeted and he was like, "See you there, cutie." Just like with a smiley face. Like that's just his personality, you know? Like he just doesn't, you know, he doesn't give into that kind of mentality. He's just always positive, friendly guy. And I, if I'm not mistaken, he won Worlds this year. Yeah, positivity is the new meta, 100%. I believe this was the year that he actually got to win Worlds, and there was a character in the game called Amuzin Cobb, like depending on how you want to pronounce it, but he was widely regarded as a terrible character. He really wasn't good. He's gotten a few buffs since then, and now he's relatively viable, but he's still plagued by the same issues. Pretty much like a character that like had pretty strong abilities, but no escape. He's a very unsafe character, which in a mobile game, I mean, that's kind of an issue, you know? Especially because he's a hunter, so he gets played in the duo lane, which is the longest lane on the map. You have the most distance to travel to become safe and under your tower, okay? So you have all that lane where you can get killed by your enemies before you make it back to your safe zone, essentially. And people were like, this character is terrible, nobody's playing him, he needs buffs, he's awful, and he locked in Amuzin Cobb for his character, you know, to play at the World Championships. You know, and this was a guy that was respected by the community, loved by everybody. And I mean, like if you could hear, you know, like the people screaming when he locked that in, like it was crazy, like it was unheard of. This was a character that didn't even get played in casual games, you know, like nobody was playing this character, and he locks it in, and the crowd just goes wild, like everybody yelling and screaming and throwing things. It was getting loud and rowdy, and like. And it goes to the player cam, and he's just sitting there like smiling to himself, you know, because he knows exactly what he just did. And then he went out there and he dominated with it, and they ended up winning Worlds. Like it was insane, dude. You know, I mean, that was easily one of the most hype things I've ever seen. Is like a professional player taking a character like that is considered by the community to be unusable, you know, and being like, yeah, I still got it. You know, like that's insane to me.
Dude, the enemy team never saw that coming either. They
Yeah,
didn't prepare for that. They studied that guy and they were like, he's gonna pick, so and so and this god and this god, and he comes out with that.
yeah,
Might have thrown him for a loop. That might have been the play all along.
yes, sir. But low tier
So,
Tuesday Hunter showing up in the World Championships. You love to see it, dude.
yeah.
Absolutely. So what is your favorite game to watch competitively?
um, as of right now, I mean, of all time, I love watching Smash. Competitive
Oh,
Smash is really cool. That's actually a game we didn't mention
we
now that
should
I think
have.
about it. Or
Yeah,
Valorant, by the way, which is what I was going to talk about. Valorant would have been another fun one to talk about, but honorable
definitely.
mentions, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Smash. I love Smash. You know me, you know that. That's my favorite game to watch. Just plain simple. I think it's a great game. I have the most fun with Smash. That's all I got to say about it. I like it.
Do you have a favorite player to watch by chance? I mean, are you that into it?
I don't really. I'm hesitant to answer that question because the Smash Pro scene is kind of a crap show right now. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who haven't been having sexual misconduct scandals and stuff like that, but there's similarly a lot of people that have. For me personally, like a
yeah,
couple of my favorites, Rido, he he plays Duck Hunt, and he plays it at an
uh,
incredibly high level, and I love to watch him play because it's honestly like they're playing checkers, he's playing chess. Like the stuff he sets up with
yeah.
that character, like he'll end up losing like later in pools to people who play more meta characters, but like watching his early pools games where he's just flexing his Duck Hunt is hilarious. Like it is some of the funnest things to watch in Super Smash Brothers.
Duck Hunt is sick too. I've definitely gained a lot more respect for that character over time. Like, I get randoms and I get to play Duck Hunt, and every time I play him in a random, I'm like, my compassion bar for Duck Hunt goes up just a few points every time. I'm like, this character is actually pretty cool. I'm at
Yeah,
that point now where like I'm not even disappointed when I have to play him.
yeah, I've got a Duck Hunt in the pocket. He's one of my favorites to play.
He's cool, yeah.
Yeah. And then my other two favorites are probably Fatality Falcon because any Captain Falcon player is hype. And then probably Best Ness just because like watching people play Ness at a high level, like and not just spam abilities online, you know? Because like
Because
when
that's
you're
gonna be he's really good
yeah
if you're actually
good
not
with
being a
him.
Wi-Fi warrior. Yeah.
Yeah. And in live tournaments, I mean, you can't just sit there and ability spam the whole time and win. Not against people who are actually good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's cheesy against people who don't know how to counter it, but a good player will be like, okay, I'll camp you out too. You know, I'll wait for my opening and I'll get my opening and you'll lose because you're a light character. And that is what it is, you know? So
Right.
like if that's all that you have with the Ness, you're gonna lose. And he has some incredible technical ability with that character, and I like watching him play. I think Smash is a great call out to something that you enjoy watching. That's for sure.
I love Smash. Yeah, dude. I play it all the time. I love watching it. It's a great game. I'm shocked I even like slipped on that. I was thinking so hard about like mainstream competitive games. I didn't even cross my mind. I choked on my soda. I'm dying over here right now.
No, you're good. Kenny Chi, I just noticed that you said I heard Ness, I was summoned. Are you a Ness main, Kenny Chi? Let's say your
Ooh,
mod Kenny Chi, Devin, might be my new favorite mod of yours. My new favorite viewer, if they're also a fellow Ness main. Let's go.
damn.
We love that.
Yeah, Kenichi's all right. He's pretty cool.
I had no idea Kenny
You're
played Ness.
you're okay, Kenichi.
Well, I think that about wraps it up here. This has been a fun one to talk about. I'm excited
Yeah,
for the future of esports. I really am. I think there's a lot of potential here that is going to come to fruition in the next 5 years, particularly if this COVID stuff doesn't go away. I think esports is only going to keep growing even more because of that.
I agree. And you know what? We'll have to report on some stuff. We'll be sure to, include some esports news into the podcast at the beginning segment we've been doing. And well, esports the topic might be gone now, but it'll never truly go away. We'll find some stuff to talk about. I like talking about this. It's easy to talk about. It's fun to talk about. Interesting. I like it. Really cool.
Most definitely. And if anybody has any questions for us or anything like that, like I kind of wanted to start doing like a Q&A like section at the end of the show if anyone wanted to like just pick our brains about anything that we talked about or anything like that. Bubba just said, I'm thinking of buying Far Cry 5. Should I? Definitely. Far Cry 5 is an incredible game and definitely worth a playthrough and hilarious. Absolutely. You should definitely get into
Far
that.
Cry 5. Pog.
So while we're waiting to see if anyone has any more questions, if anyone doesn't know where to find you, Devin, where can we find you and more of your content?
You can find my content with that name right below, twitch.tv/Devin Kronk, spelled exactly like it's displayed. And then I also have my Twitter handle under that, where you can find my stream updates and other shenanigans that I like to post. And on my Twitter, I have a link to all my other stuff. It's a link tree. So it's all there. Go to the Twitter if you want to find me in my bio.
Excellent.
How about you, Vince?
Awesome. So if you want to find me and more of my content, for those of you who are watching here in the live show, our favorite viewers, you can catch me here at twitch.tv/justvince. I'm currently streaming Wednesday through Saturday from 1:30 in the morning until about 6:30 in the morning. I've been playing Smite, so feel free to come check out the channel. We have a really good time. We've been playing a lot of Smite lately. Also, if you wanted to check any of my Twitter content, at Vince0094 on Twitter. That's VINCE0094 on the Twitter. Feel free to follow me there. Get clips, get notifications, get updates, get my random thoughts throughout the day. I would love to have you do that. Also, for anybody who wants to, we do have socials for Gaming Tonic.
Gotcha.
You got the commands on that?
Yeah. So it's GTS. Bada bang, bada boom. There's the Twitter, Vince's Twitter, and my Twitter. Actually, we need to change that. It's my old Twitter.
Oh, I thought I changed it. I'm so sorry. I updated the other one. Yeah, go ahead and push your new one
good.
Though. And then Kenny Chi also said, I have a Pocket Lucas too. I feel like people who play Ness primarily, they kind of like slide into a Pocket Lucas at some point, you know, just because of like how somewhat similar the characters play. You kind of like find your way there eventually, you know, but they are really different. Like I love playing as Lucas personally. He's got a back air spike that just hits. I'm here for it.
For any of the listeners or anybody who's here right now, I'm gonna put all of the links in the YouTube video. So if you go to our YouTube channel, click in the description below this episode, I believe is episode 13, and they will all be there. I'm gonna throw everything there. I started doing that last episode. I'm gonna just keep saying that until people pick up on it.
Yo, lucky number 13. Did we do it? Are we on 13?
I believe it's 13.
That's crazy, dude. Let's go. That's incredible, man. You love to see it.
I know.
Corman also said, my favorite thing about esports is definitely the person who won 10K in For Honor by spamming a glitch that made many attacks that weren't meant to be unblockable. What? That's crazy. Did that really happen? That's insane. They actually won an entire tournament like that? You hate to see it, dude.
Episode 13 confirmed. That's crazy.
Yep, we've done it. 13 episodes deep on the podcast.
We've peaked. This is it. This is the luckiest number. The next best it gets is 69. See you then, boys.
Oh gosh, yeah. That's a long ways off. I hope that we will make it there someday. I'm certain we will. Well, we hope you enjoyed this, guys. Every single one of you. Y'all have been awesome. If anyone wants to be on the podcast and you have a webcam and a functioning mic, we do have an application. You can go ahead and click on that link right there in the description. If you want to, on the YouTube video, you can also find that link. If you are a listener, just go ahead and head over to the YouTube channel for Gaming Tonic, and you'll be able to find the link there to apply to be on the show. We would love to have you on here to discuss our topics. It's been very fun, and we are also announcing our guest for next week is going to be Spicy Doom, the man himself, the very first guest we had on the show.
Let's go. Yep. First guest of the year.
Yeah, we do very much enjoy Spicy Doom around here. He's an awesome guy, great commentator, does his own podcast as well, and streams on Twitch. Really cool guy. Go drop him a follow if you haven't already. As well as the topic for next week. What are we talking about, Joker?
We are going to be talking about Battle Royale games. Bog!
Yeah, and I'm kind of excited to talk about this one because we've all played a lot of Battle Royale games, but like I don't know how much any of us like them. I'm pretty sure Spicy Doom actually actively plays Call of Duty Warzone, and I've never seen him enjoy it. Not even one time.
About a thrash Battle Royales, dude. This next podcast is just going to be a bunch of fist wagging and finger shaking.
Most definitely. And the last order of business that we have to take care of. Do you have a link to the Teespring as well?
Oh,
off the top of your head? So for anyone who wants to get our sweaters, we do have the Gaming Tonic merch right now.
Blowing it up, baby.
Positivity is the new meta. That's what we're working with here. I keep on trying to pull this string out of the way, but these are awesome. You can get your sweater that says positivity is the new meta. Come support us. Support the show if you want to see more of this content. We would love to see y'all out there. Post your pictures in the Discord of you wearing the sweater if you end up getting one. We appreciate every single...
Tag us on Twitter.
Tag us on Twitter. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we will all retweet it. That would be absolutely amazing. So Oh yeah, Corman, you mentioned Realm Royale. Oh, we're gonna talk about it. Oh man, Realm Royale.
We'll get there.
I got a soft spot in my heart for that game, that's for sure. So I will see you next week. Hopefully you all enjoyed yourselves very much. Thank you everybody who came out and watched the show. Thank you to every single one of our listeners online. We are getting close to 200 downloads, and we are very excited. I hope you all have an absolutely incredible rest of your weekend, and take care.
Bye, boys.